Hello, and welcome back to the second episode of Labeling the Bony Prominences. I'm your host, Nicole Schaefer. So today we will be going over the lower body extremities and their bony prominences. As you may have noticed, our set is a little bit different today. We have a lot of windows, so a lot of people are watching me do this, but can't stop the news. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, so Dummy Dan is out sick today. So we just have to work with the bones, which I was notified that these are real bones, and yes, they do smell. Starting off with, we're going to talk about the ilium. I think I said that right. This is the ilium, this part up here. First things first, let's talk about the iliac fossa, which is going to be this nice depression right here. Very nice. The iliac crest, similar to the spine of the scapula, at least in my brain. It's going to be right up top here. That is our iliac crest. Moving on from there, we're going to talk about our ASIS. This really bony prominence right here on your hip. That is your ASIS. Below that, we have our anterior inferior iliac spine. And then moving to the butt, we have our posterior superior iliac spine, also known as your PSIS. Below that, we have our posterior inferior iliac spine. And those are all the bony prominences up there. So let's move on to this bottom portion. So we're going to talk about the ischium down here now. We were up, it attaches to the ilium, and now we're down here. This is going to be your ischial body right around here. Underneath, we have that ischial ramus, and our ischial tuberosity, turn this guy around, that is our sit bone, big and fat and beautiful. Look at that. That is your ischial tuberosity, and this is one that I do not understand at all, but this little pokey thing, we're going to call that our ischial spine. And that's all we got for that. Alright guys, moving on to the pubis, which is going to be this area right around here. So the pubic body is going to be right around this area, not to be confused with the ischium body, which is more down here. So after the pubis body, we have our superior ramus, which is this area, and then we have our inferior ramus, which is going to be right down here. From there, we have our symphysis pubis, which is not on here, but it would sit right here. That is the no-no zone, guys. So that is our symphysis pubis. From there, moving on to the pubic tubercle, which is this pokey thing, boop, boop, right there. Your acetabulum is this big old hole right there. That is where your femur is going to sit. This isn't the right femur for this hip, but that's okay. But that's where that guy's going to sit ever so nicely. Next one, we have our, starts with an O, foramen. It's that big old hole, guys. Big old hole. Greater notch, greater cicat, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that thing is going to be whoop, back here, ever so nicely. Bang, bang. Oh, thank God that's done. All right, moving on to the femur. Is a real femur. You can even tell it's kind of gross, but I think it's called that spongy tissue. It looks like a whole bunch of spider webs. My camera's not picking up, but it's kind of freaking me out, but we're just gonna go with it. Here we go. All right, so this is the femoral neck. Ooh, beautiful. Sorry, that's the femoral head, and then this is the femoral neck. From there, we have our greater and lesser trochanter, and then our trochanteric fossa. Don't think I said that right, but I don't want to put my finger in there. It is right in there. Oh, it smells so bad. Right in there. So body of the femur is going to be this long shaft. Then we have our medial and lateral condyle. So it helps if we look down here. So this is a right femur. This is going to be your medial and lateral condyle, not to be confused with the epicondyle, epi meaning above, so your medial and lateral epicondyles. And they sit right above those condyles. Your adductor tubercle, see if I can see it on here. There it is. So it's going to be on the medial side, your adductor tubercle, that little bony prominence right there. And yeah, that's what we got so far. Phew. Pew, pew. Things I missed on the femur here. We're going to talk about the linea aspera. Don't know if I said that right at all, but it's going to be on the posterior surface of this femur. It's going to be this line right here. That's good because that's where some muscles attach. Then we have our pectineal line. It's going to be just inferior of the lesser trochanter there. And then our patellar surface, going to go to the front. It's this nice little divot here where the patella is going to glide. And those are some. We are now moving on to the lower leg. Right here, we got so beautifully. Hello, I grabbed some fake bones because I could not handle those real bones anymore. So this is your tibia. This is your fibula, if you did not know. We're going to talk about the tibia first. So on the tibia here, this is a left foot. You have your tibial tuberosity, which is this big old bony thing right up there, very easy to palpate on people. Then we have our medial tibial condyle, which, since this is a left foot, this is going to be our medial, and this is going to be our lateral. Then from there, I keep losing my spot, I'm sorry. We have our tibial plateau. So you actually have two tibial plateaus. You have your medial and lateral. So that backwards, medial and lateral, but we're just going to put them into one and just call them our tibial plateaus, but this is where the femur articulates with the tibia, and that's where it glides over. From there, we're going to move on to our medial malleolus, which is going to be obviously on the medial side of the body, right there. Also, you can see it on this guy, bang bang, right there. So there's really only three things we need to know about the fibula. We have our fibular head, which is going to be up here. We have our fibular body, whoop, which is that long thing right there, and then our lateral malleolus, which is on the other side. Medial malleolus, lateral malleolus, and you may notice that this is a little further down, so it's going to limit our range of motion and protraction. So we have supination, and pronation. So we have supination, we have more range of motion in supination because the tibia articulates a little bit higher. That condyle doesn't limit the range of motion as much, which is why we can supinate our foot. Let's talk about the tarsal bones. Yay! Okay, so tarsal bone, this back here, otherwise known as our heel, is our calcaneus bone. The calcaneus tuberosity, where's my pointer? Calcaneus tuberosity is really obvious. It's this big bony thing back here. That's our calcaneal tuberosity. From there, we have our talus, which is the bone that articulates with the tibia and fibula. Then we have our navicular. I guess it would help if I showed you. This is our navicular joint right here, and then our navicular tuberosity, which is something we were palpating today in class. It's pretty easy to palpate there. Then we have our first, second, and third. First, second, and third cuneiform. I don't think I say that right, bone. And then we have our cuboid. This guy right over here hangs out by the pinky toe. We're just going to call it the pinky toe. Then from there, let's talk about our metatarsals. So these guys right here are going to be our metatarsals. So the base of the metatarsals is where they articulate with the tarsal bones. That is your base. And then the head of the metatarsals is going to be up here, where they articulate with the phalanges, and these will be our phalanges. From there, we have our first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth, if you're weird, metatarsals. So first is always going to be that thumb, that most important little toe that we got, thumb toe. And yeah, these are our phalanges, and you know what? I think that's it. So I am so sorry, this video is way worse than the first, but that's all we've got for the day. So please like and subscribe, and write in. Let us know how you're liking the show. Have a great rest of your day.